So I saw M3GAN 2.0, and I was really excited for this. I loved the first movie, and I thought the trailers looked really fun. I was concerned a little bit about the dressing, but I did really enjoy the trailers for this. So when we saw the positives, I think the two main actresses, the actress who plays the aunt, Alice Williams, and the kid who plays Katie. I still like the characters, and I still like the character of M3GAN. Even though I didn't really like the like. It didn't really work for me to make him kind of the good guy now. But I think overall the cast do a good job in this acting wise. Um, and that's really about it, honestly. I really was not a fan of this movie. And look, I have no problem when you do a sequel and you change the genres. Terminator 2 and Aliens, great examples where they shift genres, but at the same time, they do a great job of still having a compelling story with compelling characters and feeling the same tone of those previous movies. This movie just shifts genres so much, where one of the negatives with this movie is that there is no horror slash element in this movie. Like the first movie is PG-13, and personally, that didn't bother me personally. Like they did release the unrated cut of the first movie, which doesn't really add much, but it didn't really bother me. Like I'm somebody who's like, look, I don't have a problem when you do a PG-13 horror movie or an R-rated horror movie, as long as you like give me compelling characters with an interesting story, which is all at the end of the day, that's all I care about is story and character. If you do it in a way where it's interesting characters I feel invested in, and you do it in a way where you still can make it feel like a horror movie in creepy moments, then that's all that matters to me. And I think the first M3GAN, even though it was PG-13, it wasn't really something that bothered me with it not being R-rated. For some people, that was like a nitpick they had about the first one is that they wanted it to be R-rated, which I totally understand. But it didn't personally bother me a whole lot with the first movie. But this movie just completely gets rid of the horror element. It goes full on sci-fi, over the top action comedy. And for me, that just felt too much of a change in this sequel. And the plot overall is just very convoluted in this movie. There's some twist tones. Like there's one twist towards the end with Alice Williams' character, the aunt, where he sees he's dating some guy, and he finally on he's the bad guy. That to me was so freaking predictable. I was like, I saw that coming. I figured that out before it happened. I was like, oh, he's gonna be the bad guy. Shocker. It's like that was a very predictable twist. The plot gets so convoluted as the movie goes along. It gets just very all over the place with how the plot is going with how convoluted it gets. So that I thought the plot definitely has some holes in there where I was like, this is getting really just convoluted, and this movie gets really silly. Like the comedy, especially towards the end, it just did not work for me in this movie. And M3GAN becoming a good guy, I mean not guy, a good person. That part of the story didn't. I felt like could have been executed better. And the actress who plays the main bad android in this movie, I think the Carter character Mila, she was in Ahsoka. She didn't really do much for me in this movie. She didn't come off maybe imitating me. I never felt really scared of her. They have this whole thing at the end. It was felt randomly thrown in there where she becomes this godlike android, and she talks about wanting to be of her own kind and something like that. And that plot element felt like it was thrown in there. They didn't do anything to build that up. For me, at least, if they did, they just didn't do enough there. And also, this movie, the end of the movie is trying to like seem make it look like AI could be good depending on in the hands of it. But that whole idea, I think, could have been interesting if you actually build it up and flushed it out. And they didn't in this movie. I felt like at the end they were trying to say, "Oh, AI can be good. Depends on who's using it, and not all AI is bad." I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I do think that contradicts the first one because the first movie was clearly about how bad AI can be. This one's trying to make it seem more like AI could be good, and I think you could have that could have been interesting if you just flussed out that idea more. And there's just a lot of moments in this movie where it's trying to take moments from the first movie. Like, you have a moment where Megan is singing to Alec Rome's character, where she's talking about, oh, she's having trouble connecting to Katie, her niece, and she starts singing. That just felt so silly and out of place to me. Like, in the first movie, you have that moment where Katie's talking about her parents, her mom, and her memories that she has in her mom, and how she feels like she's maybe losing her memories, and Megan sings a song to her. But that moment in that first movie felt emotional. It felt like it fit tone-wise, and it felt great, and it felt like it was placed in a great moment in that movie where it hit emotionally. This movie, it just came off silly. Like, even I love the dancing scene in the first movie where she's dancing before she kills the guy, and that came off fun and creepy in that first movie. In this movie, when she does the dancing, it just, to me, it just came off silly and goofy, and just there's a lot of moments that are silly in this, especially as the movie went along. Also, you have characters making dumbass decisions in this that just annoys the crap out of me, like stupid ass decisions. But I just kind of go like, oh my god. The writing just wasn't very good in this movie. Like, I know the director, I know it had the same director the first movie, but I believe the director didn't write the first movie, but wrote this one, and just the writing to me took a sharp decline in this movie. Like, the first movie felt to me fun. It felt like a horror movie, and it felt like it had an emotional story in the first movie about this kid Katie losing her parents and being so attached to this machine. An idea of this woman who's not ready to be a parent, who gets thrown into the situation and having to learn to be a parent, and the idea of like having a robot do all the stuff that parents should be doing. Like, there's a lot of emotional depth I felt like to that first movie while being fun and having a little bit of a horror element in that first movie. This movie just feels like it just completely drops that. Like I said, it turned into an over-the-top sci-fi action movie and just did not work for me. So, look, I can see some people having fun with this movie. This is one of those movies where I'm like, I can, like, it has like a 50-something percent critic score. I believe it has like an 80s audience score. So, I could see some people having fun with this movie. But overall, I thought this was a gigantic step down from the first movie. I was not a fan of this sequel, and I wouldn't recommend M3GAN 2.0, but, like I said, it has a 50s critic score, it has an 80-something audience score, so there are people out there having fun with it, so you might have fun with the movie. But personally for me, I was not a fan of M3GAN 2.0. So that's my thoughts on M3GAN 2.0. Until next time, movie fans.